Hi once again. Now we are almost getting to the end, and because where are we now? We are somewhere here. We are now to work out the facilitation fee and so Patron's commission, and then thereafter we are going to be doing the total income for the club. In this video, I'm going to have us do the facilitation fee and then Patron's commission. In this video, I don't wish to first recap what we had done about the surcharged fees for lost or damaged equipment. We dealt with that and we have a query already on that case. And I believe you are still struggling to come up with a form which you will be using to capture the data as required. But in case of extra time, I'll be able to do for you a video illustrating the kind of a form that I will come up with for my own project here. So in this video, I have said already that we are dealing with facilitation fee, compute facilitation fee, and also Patron's commission. This is as per which paragraph which talks about these things, as per this paragraph. Each game has a patron whose duties include facilitating events within the club and with other external teams. If a team is required to play against an external team, an away team or whatever they call it, let me not give the names, each member in the team is required to pay a facilitation fee of 500. The patron is paid 20% of the total facilitation fees as commission. So that's the paragraph that we are dealing with in this particular video. Now, in preparation to this, because I actually do not intend the video to be prolonged, there are some preliminary preparations that I have done so far. One, I believe all of us should be having such a table. I don't know whether you created such a table which is showing the different games that we deal with in our organization. And then remember, as per that paragraph, we are told that each game has got a patron. So we have got a game name, a patron name, and just for the sake of being whatever realistic or creative, I have also added a picture for every patron. Then there are now, I'll first skip game players and come to game schedule. Game schedule is a table which is showing in a particular date there is a match to be played. So there is match ID, and then when is it scheduled for, which game. Okay, in this case we shall be picking volleyball, whatever else. Hosting team is one of the teams that we have in Maringo. Then external team, are we playing against an external team, or is it an internal team versus another internal team? A team belonging to Maringo versus another belonging to Maringo. In my case, I've got just how many teams? 4. So it can be one time we are playing Getuge versus High Flyers, or Getuge versus Superhawks, and so on. So in that case, we wouldn't mark this to be an external team. But when we are playing against a team which is not among of the groups that we have or the teams that we have, then that case will require us to mark this with a tick. Then what is the away team? The team we are playing with. What is the away team? So those are the fields that I have in the table games schedule. Then after that, each game, of course, will have the players. My imagination is, because my teams are quite long, quite big. They are big. Yeah, they are big. They have many members. If I would show you, it might be, yes, in table groups. If, for instance, I would expand the list at Getuge United and show you the members against it, then you can see, where did I get that? Right. My issue is there are many members belonging to each group. Let's forget about what I was just about to show you, because it's taking me to another route which I don't want to take. So we can have a team of Getuge United. They might be classified into volleyballers, footballers, swimmers, and so on. Now, when there is a football match to take place, do we have all the footballers, the volleyballers, and swimmers paying the 500 facilitation fee? No, it would be just applicable to probably the footballers. When swimmers are hosting another team, or when we are hosting an external team versus the swimmers in Getuge United, then only the swimmers who should pay the facilitation fee. That's my imagination. Anyway, which is subject to your correction. All right? So now, let's forget about the table groups. So I have said already that we have got the players who will participate in a particular game that we shall be scheduling in a particular time. My screen is zoomed in, and when you zoom in, there is such kind of a misbehavior. Even the mouse pointer, I know it's not where it should be, but at least you are able to see the things that I have. So in each of these cases, I have also gone ahead and I have designed a respective form. So again, table form games. This is the one which is capturing the different games that we play. Like now, this is about badminton. We have the patron being Chris Magenda, and there he is. The guy is there. Then baseball, Brenda Mombi, there is Brenda, and so on and so on. Basketball, we have Omodi George, and there's the image. So that's the first form. Then we've got another form. Again, I go through the same order that I tackled the tables. We have got the scheduler, the game schedule. Who will be playing against, when are we going to have a particular match? So like now I may want to schedule a match here. Say it is scheduled to take place in a date gone by, say on 26th of June 2023, we had a football match. A football match was to be played, and the home team is KG Sparks High Scholars, and the away team, because this is an external player, an external team coming to KG Sparks for the game, we may call it the Doves, the Doves high team. Is it making sense? Whatever it might mean. The Doves high team. It's an external team. It's not another inside team. So there is something that I have triggered here. When I mark a tick, when I apply a tick, we just get a message down here. This is a label control. I don't know whether you have ever seen some other properties like setting visibility of a control. So when the check mark is on, then the reminder is about that each team, each home team member shall pay 500 facilitation fee. Okay, so that is it. But now, who are the players? Who are the players of this game? That's why I now wanted us to connect these two things at who are the players. So I've got a form. That form is still fresh. It's not been used, so we are using it together with you. FRM Games Players. So the idea is, when I pick a particular game, a game schedule. When I create a game schedule, then ahead I should go ahead and insert who are the players. So to achieve that, this is the form that I'm just targeting to be opening, and I'm going to do some modifications. Let it run afloat above everything else so that it's not obscured in the back. Pop-up model set to yes. And then who shall call this form? We shall not be using it in isolation, such as to come here and then I start recording things in it. No, but it should be called by another form. So it's just like the scenario of mother-child relationship. So the scheduler, the form that is scheduling a game, this one, this is where I would like, after I have assigned the details of a particular game, then I go ahead to have us select who are the players of this particular game. That of course will be done in design view, and I'm choosing a command control from form design tools, command control, and then I may place it where I may place it there. Okay, and then what shall we do? It shall open another form. So categories, form operation, open form is the action. Okay, open form is the action, and then which is the form that we want? Form games players. Next, then this question here is very critical. Do you want the subform to find specific information to display in the form? Yeah, because we want to only have those people who belong to a particular team to appear in the subform. Okay, so I carry on to the next. Which thing are we going to use to relate the two forms? For now, I just choose match ID, and then I click the middle button, such that the players of a particular match are the ones who should appear in the subform. The players of a particular match are the ones who should appear in the subform. Then I carry on next. What text? Who are the players? I will give the button a label called who are the players. Am I writing correctly? Where am I? Like so. Who are the players? Question. Who are the players? Carry on, and then command players form. Okay. Yeah, so the main idea is when we click this button, then we are able to allocate the specific players for a particular match. Okay, so far I believe you have understood that. And the scenario is like when I click that one, and then I open the form, the scheduler, then who are the players? It should now allow me to come in and pick who are the players. But I've got 151 members. Yet in the mother form behind here, I've already selected KG Sparks high scholars. The list of members appearing on the sub form here, this is the list of all of them. It's not limited. It's not filtered out to only show me the players of K-Sparks. So I must have a way now, a mechanism, to ensure that only those players who come from K-Sparks are available, and from the list of the K-Sparks players, again, we are going to pick a few who will be engaged in the match that we are creating. So therefore, before I populate anything here, let me ensure that everything is done right. First thing to remember is that this control that I have here, home team name, on the scheduler form, will be critical for us to remember when we are in the players table, I mean in the players form. So I'm closing this one, saving the changes, and then I open games players alone in isolation, right? Why? So that when we go to this tool here, this tool for selecting the members, I will tell the computer only allow us select those players who come from a particular team in the mother form, which is linking to this child form. So I have selected the member ID field, and then I'm on data, and then I carry on to the row source, and then build. The build button will display something that looks like a query, right? Like a query. You can see it's something that looks like a query. Okay, so I want to add a where question, where the member belongs to the team that we have in that scheduler form. Okay, so on the scheduler form, the game scheduler form, we have a team which we have already selected. So the players must come from that particular team that we have on the scheduler. So what do? I'll insert yet another column from members, and the member is members. We need this field, team name, and this team name has to be equal to the one we have on the mother. I'm repeating that so many times so that you recall what we are just about to do. From the mother form, which is games scheduler. So I am in criteria row. After selecting team name here, I am in criteria row, and I'm now building. I'm doing a build. Things that we are building are coming from Maringo. We have a form there. It's not loaded. It's already closed. Form games schedule. And then the team, the hosting team is one of our Maringo teams. The one which we shall have selected on the form games scheduler is the one which I have selected here. So you can see what the computer does. Okay. So if I would repeat what I have already done to have that, I've gone to let me close them up again. Maringo, I have expanded the list at the Maringo Sports Club system, selected forms, selected all forms, then FRM games schedule, and then which field do I want to check? Hosting team. You know, it is the currently selected team on the games schedule form, and then I click on OK. Hope that is enough for that much explanation. And this field ought not to appear. Remember, this is a control which we are clicking, and it is hiding the member ID, but we are able to see the full name of the member. But should we see the team name? Not really. It's not really necessary, but we know there is a team name which is correlating with what we are selecting. The members that we shall select now, we are so certain that they will come from a particular team that is available from the mother form, which is now opening. So on the mother form, who is selected? KG Sparks High Scholars, isn't it? And then who are the people who will be playing this football, which is organized between K Sparks and the Doves? So who are the players? Now I go there, answer that question. So you can see, if you were keen enough, my list was quite longer, but now it is smaller because we have fewer members selected. And if we would want to test that, Alan Gogi is the member I have at the top. Jeff Moremi is the second. If you can remember those names, Alan and Jeff, they are in the list. So assuming we made a mistake when we were selecting the home team name, and then we realized it should have been High Flyers. Then now we go to who are the players. Let's see whether Jeff and Alan are appearing. We have no Jeff at the top. We have no Alan following, meaning this is another team, a team of High Flyers. So I start applying them. And remember now, the match ID, I don't know whether the computer will be able to assign that for us. I don't know. I'm ignoring it. I am hoping that it will do. Hoping that it will do. So, how many people normally play football in a team? So we can have about 13 or so. Hope is already selected. Now that's another issue that we need to be careful about. That one you just explore. There is a way that you can go removing a member. Why am I picking names that I have already picked? Yet Helen is here. Sonia, not yet selected. I guess in football we have normally the kawaida should be 11, but we can have 2 more in reserve. 2 more in reserve. So Patience and then we have got, Joel Mugwe. So I guess I have not repeated any name, and I'm also assuming that the computer has applied something. I wonder why it is just showing a date here. Yeah, let me just fill it in, instead of it bringing problems thereafter. We only have one match, a match that is organized in this particular date that I'm picking here. If I would populate more records in the mother form, in the scheduler form, then you could see more records featuring down here in the drop-down list that I have. Sorry, I don't require any more player. And then by default, the default settings of the facilitation fee is that each member should pay 500. So I have played around with the default property when I was creating the table, the underlying table to this form, and it is actually capturing 500 as the default amount that each member should pay. Okay, so that is step 1. So we confirm, are the players still there? Yeah, they are still there. That is step 1. But okay, what have we done? We have already scheduled a game. If a team is required to play against an external team, each member of the team is required to pay a facilitation fee of 500. The patron is paid 20% of the total facilitation fee as commission. So what does that mean? That if I go now to the table which is storing information about these players and the amounts that they have paid, and that was Team Games players, we have their information appearing here, and the facilitation fee now, assuming that this is already paid. Okay, they paid this much, 500 already paid. Now, against a particular match, we require to calculate, to work out what is the total. I'm not liking this idea of showing me the date instead of the computer showing me the match ID. There's a place where I can modify that. It depends on how I created the lookup column. My lookup column is having about 4 columns, and the first column is the one which is suppressed to 0. I don't know whether you are where I am at. Zoom in. Okay, we have a total number of columns which are being used to display the match ID. I need to know which team name, when is the game to be played, and so on and so on. I have got all those settings, and you can see column width. Why the column for match ID is not appearing? It is suppressed to 0. So if I say it shall also be set to 1 inch, let me see how the table now behaves. Zoom out so that I'm able to work zoom out, and then I switch to datasheet view. Good. That's what I wanted actually, to see the match ID. And those who have forgotten about prefix zeros, which I love so much, of course, must confess that you must have noticed that I am obsessed to adding prefix zeros. So many of them. I like them when they are so many. Where do we get them from? Under field properties, general tab, format property. If it's a number, if you type so many zeros, then you are telling the computer simply to prefix the details displayed in that particular column with the so many zeros as you have typed. Are we together so far? Very good. Now, we already have seen that we have gotten the amount to be paid by each member. So how do we accumulate their total? How do we accumulate their total? Is it not easy? It is easy, because here I'm going to create a summary query. So I'm in create, and then I'm engaging a summary query wizard. So step 1, simple query wizard. Okay. Step 2, where information is coming from, it is match ID, member ID, I ignore it, facilitation fee. Match ID and facilitation fee becomes the selected fields. Okay. Later we are going to add some more information to make it more detailed, to our query to be more detailed. But however, for now, let me carry on. And then, how would you like a detailed or summary query? This time, summary, so that every match we have got its total amount contributed by the players, isn't it? And then what are the summary options? We need a summation. We need a summation of facilitation fee, a sum of facilitation fee. Then, okay, are we there? And then next, and then what are we going to call this query? QRY facilitate, because I want it to be together with other games things. Facilitation, I'm calling it QRY, games facilitation fees paid. Okay, facilitation fees paid. Then there we are, finish. So from the first game, and we only have organized for one particular match, we have collected an amount of 6,500. 13 players times 500 gives us this much. All right. So what about the patron? The patron fee. The patron fee must come from what we have already paid. So in a brand new column in the query design, where I am now, I am here in the row for field. In a new column, I'm now right-clicking so that I choose build. I build a what? An expression. So this expression must say sum of facilitation fee, and the paragraph is categorically telling us that each patron is paid 20% of the total facilitation as a commission. So 20%, I have already double-clicked sum of facilitation fee, and then I have typed multiplied with 20%, 20 over 100. All right, good. And then I say, okay, what do I call it? The new column shall be called commission. Commission. Okay, commission. A problem will appear here. There will be a parameter value request if I run my query like that. Parameter value being required. Why is it being required? It's just because this is a summary. This is a summary query, and I have allocated group by 2 times. But the second time, it's not appropriate for me to group by. So the second time, I should actually be telling the computer to know that this is an expression. It's not a group by field, but it is an expression. What we have there is simply an expression. So the parameter request now disappears. The parameter request now disappears. So could it have not have been better for me to call it Patron's Commission? Patron Commission. Okay, now what is missing? Some information is missing because I find it rather too flat. Who is this patron who is receiving the 1300 here? Do we have some more information about this match? Or do we just leave it just shallowly as it is? It's good to know how to play around with things. You can add some more tables here, like I feel I should identify which match is this that is being played. And the match ID is coming from games schedule. You can see when I drop in behind there, the games schedule window or table rather, you can see already the relationship existing there is shown. So from it, I'll be able to say there's a game which was to be played this particular day, and then the players were this, hosting team, home team was this, external team was this, and so on. Okay, then is it also not possible to show who is the patron who is receiving this money? It's possible because the patron comes from table games. You can see the excitement that access brings us because everything is well networked, especially when you are conversant with how relationships work. It brings some joy when you are able to mix data from this source, it runs so smoothly. So I'm picking so many fields from this middle table. Apart from match ID, I have dropped in the rest. And then from the last table, table games, I need to know who is the patron, and do we have their photo? Yeah, we also have their photo. Then group by, no. That's the bad thing of dealing with a summary query. Okay, you see the syntax, there is syntax error. So I'll only pick one item from date scheduled. Let me call it fast. Everything else, let me assign it as fast, not group by. That's the only bad part of using summary queries, and when you want to merge data that comes from other sources, you need to again be careful. I'm suspecting that this one could be having a challenge. Let's also call it fast. We don't know. Syntax error. Okay, there is an expression. Why is it having an error? Yet it had worked so well. Patron Commission. One thing I can first do is to remove these spaces that we added automatically when the field was generated. Sum of facilitation fee to be without spaces. Sum of facilitation fee to be without spaces. Then I first save the query, Control S, we'll do that. Then I do what? I go to Patron's Commission. I want to build again, and then I remove these spaces. Sum of facilitation fee. Wonder where is the error there. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So the spaces could have meant something different. So I have removed the space that the computer had added here, and also the space which had been added here, sum of, to normally add some space. Now we've got the commission, and then we have got all the other fields that I have selected. I thought that it was so many additions that we have done that brought this kind of a problem. It was not. Okay, so I save this query. I try to add a schedule through from games schedule, a new one, add a schedule, and this schedule is to take place on a Sunday. It's to take place on a Sunday, 25th, and the game name shall be a volleyball, and then the hosting team is Gituge United. Away team shall be called Maradona Super United. Maradona Super United. It's an external team. Then add a schedule. No, who are the... So I can still create yet another one, a new game, and then I can talk about when have we scheduled for the game. It's taking place on 2nd. Then the game name, swimming, home team name, KG Sparks, and then the away team shall be South Tattoo Eagles. South Tattoo Eagles. Okay. Then who are the players? I answer the question, who are the players? So match ID, this is match ID number 3. We have how many players? We can list about 5 players will be swimming. There will be girls. No, Jeff is not a girl. Jeff, you are not a girl. We need this to be a team of girls. Rosemary will play. Then we have got Susan Friend will play. And we have a Prudence will also play. And then we have got Joy will also play. Those are our representatives. So why I have accumulated those records is so that now we can see the behavior of our query. We can see the behavior of our query. Now I have not marked this with a tick. The behavior of our newly designed query, the query games facilitation fees paid, we want to see whether there are three matches. The 3 matches are there, and there is the football match, volleyball match, swimming match, and then most importantly there are the fees to be paid by the members, and then there is the commission which is to be paid to the patron organizing. Okay, so that is what I would have wished to share at this time, because we have already responded to the query calculating the facilitation fees. We have already done that. And then have we calculated the patron's commission? Yes, we have already done that. Probably thereafter I will also be working on a form, and actually many of these things that we have not as yet represented in forms of reports, we shall also design reports for them, because nobody who has interest to see how the calculations were done in our query, right? But when we need to have a report, or when we need to view this data that is coming from this query rather, it should be shown in form of a report, which we are going to do thereafter. We are going to do such a report thereafter. So otherwise, for now, because I have already shown you how to calculate the facilitation fee, patron's commission, I feel a sense of relief that I am almost finishing my journey. However, wewe pusi, wewe nyamaza, wewe. There will be another video, because somebody had asked about another item that we have somewhere. I'll be letting you know in the next video what other item we are going to be handling. Have a nice time. Thank you very much.